Hey everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya's House. Hello everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful week. It is the end of the week, so I hope you had a wonderful week. But today I'm going to be doing a weekly wrap-up. This is the first of this style of video. I decided instead of doing monthly wrap-ups, I want to move and shift into weekly wrap-ups. I know, exciting. It's good for you guys because then I get to, like, you know, talk about the books I've read more often during the month versus just like at the end of the month. Mainly because I've been reading a lot more and like my memory is not what it used to be 7 years ago. Overall, it'll be better for me to do weekly wrap-ups because then I'll get to talk about the books like as soon as I finish them. This week I read 3 books. Okay, without further ado, let us get into this because the books I read were pretty good. So let's just get into it. Also, my hair is currently drying, so if it's like this, yeah, that's why. Okay, so the first book I read this month was actually a book that I read via, I love that word. It's actually a book I read on my Kindle app on my phone. And this book is the first book in a series that came out, I think, in like 2009. But it is A Shade of Vampire by Bella Forrest. Oh my god. Okay, so the reason I picked up this book was because I wanted, like, I was in the mood for vampires, okay? Like, I am not ashamed to admit that I like vampires a lot. This book was actually written by Bella Forrest. If you guys remember, 2 months ago I read the book The Gender Game, which was also by Bella Forrest, and I just absolutely loved it. I love Bella Forrest's writing style. Like, all of her books are super fast paced. But going into A Shade of Vampire, like, I knew, like, I just, you know, I knew it was gonna be a cheesy vampire novel, but that's what I wanted. So that's what I got, you know, I got what I wanted. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm gonna rate this book on cheesiness and not on overall, like, quality of novel because it's vampire smut, okay? Like, it's vampire smut. I'm putting it out there. Like, it's not right for me to rate the book on, like, noveliness because it's a 260 page vampire smut novel. So just, yeah. But if you're into that, girl, this is the book for you. On 1 to 10, I'd give this a solid 10 on the cheesiness. This book, like, literally, this is what happens within the first, like, 20 pages of the book. So this girl is on a family vacation. Oh, by the way, the reason why it's so cheesy is because it's also so ridiculously fast-paced. So the book starts off our main character. She goes on a vacation to, I don't know where, but somewhere with a beach. And so she's walking along the beach, and there's this guy that she's interested in who, like, I don't even know who this guy is because we got, like, 3 pages of, like, who he is, and then that was it. And she was just in love with him, so I was like, all right, obviously this is not going to be the main love interest. I hope not, because we know nothing about this guy. He's like a guy, and that's it. She's walking on the beach, right, just like minding her own business, and she gets kidnapped by a vampire and taken to this island called the Shade, where all the vampires live. Does this sound like a cheesy vampire book? I hope so. So she gets taken to this island called the Shade to become a vampire slave and ends up, like, falling in love with the main vampire guy on this island. He's like the ruler of the vampires, and he's been in a coma for like 500 years and just awokened, and looks at her and is like, oh my god, the love of my life. And that's all I'm gonna tell you because I could easily spoil this whole plot of the book in like 2 seconds, but I'm not, because I want you to read it if you just want something that'll make you laugh, and that's just so good. If you're in the mood for vampire smut, just, it's the book for you. Bella Forrest, I love her. Like, that is her genre. She writes those cheesy novels that just make you happy and smile. The next book I read, which was so good, and you guys know, I'm just gonna put this out there, it is really hard for me to read contemporary, I'm sorry, my hair is bugging. It is really hard for me to read contemporary books, mainly because of the fact that, like, they hardly ever grab my attention, if that makes any sense. Like, I love reading fantasy and magic and thriller books that just have, like, insanely addictive plot lines that you can't turn away from. But, you know, contemporary books, more books set it in, like, real life are harder for me to, like, really like. So when I like a contemporary book, it is like, but the next book I read was Top 10 by Katie Cotugno, and this book I received like several months ago. I did a video with Epic Reads in which I talked about this book being on my TBR list. So I finally got around to reading it, and it was so good. It is one of those books that'll like make you feel happy and like sad, and it's just like heartwarming and like tear-jerking at the same time. It is like the perfect balance of like, you know, like in rom-coms when it's like rom-coms are funny and you get this great dialogue and you just get these great like full-body characters that just feel so real, but then you also get those scenes that are just really heart-wrenching and heartbreaking that's just so true to life. Like, that is this book. It is a like, oh my god, it is so good. So in this book we follow our two main characters, Ryan and Gabby. Now Gabby is a very shy girl, and also, holy smoke. So this, let me just put this out there before I go into the plot of the book, but our main character Gabby, she's one of the two main characters in this book, and she is a bisexual main character, and she's also dealing with severe just anxiety, panic attacks. And in my personal opinion, with reading various different diverse books, I have to say this probably has to be one of the most accurate representations, just based off my friends that have read it, and then just based off my own opinion. And it's just so I'm gonna put that out there first. So just like, hurrah for a diverse book that's actually like feels real. But our main character is Gabby, and she's a very shy person, and her best friend is Ryan, who is the total opposite. He's on the hockey team, he's super outgoing, he goes to parties every day. So they, by some miracle, chance, whatever you want to call it, end up becoming best friends, and their friendship is just the most unique thing, and it is just so cute, and I just love it so much. The book starts off where it's the end of the year, it's senior year, and these two best friends, they have this kind of thing that they call like the top 10 list, where whenever they're in any sort of situation, they'll make like a top 10 list. So like top 10 moments of this, top 10 of this. So it's the end of year, it's end of the year, and they're like, okay, we're gonna make a list of like the top 10 moments of our friendship. And so there's like 10 chapters in this book after that first chapter, and each chapter takes place like it's a really weird timeline. So it goes back in time, and it'll just jump around. So each chapter is like a little snippet of their friendship. So it felt like little short stories within a greater story, but then you get to know the characters throughout these short stories, and it's like these little like one scene sort of chapters, and it's just so cute because it starts from number 10, and not all the moments are good moments too. I just want to say that, you know, I was worried it would just be like all of these like happy moments, but a lot of the moments that define their friendship in this book were really intense, like heart-wrenching moments in which they realized like that they really truly valued each other, and it was just so cute. So it's a mix between like, holy crap, like tragic moments to the cutest, most like bubbly, like adorable moments. And it was just at the end of the book, you know, you smile and you're just like, God, I want a best friend like that sort of things. Okay, and the last book that I read, that this book I am gonna give probably a 6 out of 10 because I enjoyed about 3/4 of the book, but the beginning was god awful, okay? And that book is Here We Are Now by Jasmine Wanga. Now, Jasmine Wanga, she wrote My Heart and Other Black Holes. This is a book I recently hauled. I don't remember if I hauled it last month, or if I received it in the mail from a publishing company, I'm not sure. But anyway, so after I read top 10, I was just in a contemporary mood, and this book just kind of called out to me. It was like a short, sort of sweet looking contemporary book. But anyway, so the plot of this book is we have our main character. She's a 16-year-old girl, and she's in high school. And it's just her and her mom, and she's never known her dad. Found out that her dad is this crazy like celebrity pop star, or not pop star, but he's a famous like band singer, and she starts writing letters to him to try and like, you know, let him know like, hey, I'm your daughter. So the mom has kind of kept who her dad is a secret, and she's, like I said, the one who discovers this, and she kind of gets upset at her mom that her mom never told her. But her mom is away on a business trip in a different country when all of a sudden her dad shows up on her doorstep. 3 years after she stopped writing letters to him, he's like, hey, I got your letters. Anyways, the plot of the novel sounded really good, but when I got into it, it was just so fast-paced to the point where I couldn't even like keep up, where it just felt like she was trying to get past the intro of the book. In the beginning, within the first 30 pages, you know, the daughter meets the father, and they start having these conversations that just seem really unrealistic. Like the lines that they were, you know, saying to each other, it felt like characters talking and not like people talking. I think the best thing I can compare it to is like reading a script where it's like the lines were there, but the emotion and the detail and like sensory imagery wasn't behind it. And so I didn't like it, and I was very close to DNFing the book, but I'm like, you know what, it's really short, it's only like 300 pages, I'll just finish it. But after like about 50 pages when the character decides that she's gonna, you know, go and visit and spend time with her dad. We start getting these backstories because, again, our main character doesn't know really anything about her father, and so the father kind of like does these sort of flashback moments where we'll get a chapter that's about how the dad and the mom met, and just like, you know, different aspects of the dad's life. And these flashbacks were so good, and honestly is what saved the story for me. And just the writing in these flashbacks almost felt like someone different was writing the book whenever they did these little flashback chapters. But that's what kept me reading, and I got to know more about the characters, and I kind of like, I grew to like them. And it finished, the way it ended was a little bit predictable, but overall, yeah, I'd give this book a 6 out of 10. It was like, it was good, but the intro almost turned me away from the book, so that's why I took off a few stars. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!